My guest tonight is a retired NYPD deputy inspector and author whose new book is called Once a Cop. Please welcome Corey Pegues.
I started selling drugs at the age of 13 because I was just trying to eat and just stay fly. There was nothing else to do but to sell drugs. And I didn't have options before. I couldn't go into a Google search and put in veterinarian and all this stuff come up, and that's what I wanted to do. No, we didn't have that back then. With the weed, we was making hundreds of dollars a day, and crack, it just exploded. And we started making hand over fist thousands of dollars in a week. Like, you know, I had a shoebox full of money.
You know, I was working for one of the major drug conglomerates in America, the Supreme Team.
So we went from Pro-Keds to wearing Adidas, buying a lot of jewelry. Everything was moving up, but the community was coming down because people were dying. People were getting shot, people was getting robbed, people was getting raped. It just decimated the community.
Growing up in Queens, you were a teenage drug dealer. And what made you go another route?
Well, December 12th, 1986, I had my son, my oldest son, Corey Jr., and I held him in my arms, and I said, what kind of hero am I going to be for him? I'm going to be the guy that come out of jail and throw a barbecue for me because I came home. I said, no. I want to see this kid grow up to be a productive citizen in the United States. When that Army recruiter came to pick me up, and I just looked in that rearview mirror and was driving saying, I'm leaving all of this. It's all behind me now. I'm never going back. I got an opportunity to change my life. I'm gonna make the best of it.
When I became a police officer and I figured out the trajectory of my life from selling drugs to coming into policing, I knew it wasn't normal. And I was able to read people. I brought that to the police department. I was the first black commanding officer in the history of the NYPD to command this lovely precinct in East Flatbush community. People just didn't like me because I was young and black. I'm hip hop, you know, I got this swag. I mean, but I was as smart, if not smarter, than most people that I worked for. I definitely had more knowledge about police work because I was in the streets. I knew how to deal with crime because I was a former criminal. It doesn't matter. I was commanding officer of 67 precinct. I was the first black commander in the history of the NYPD to run. That's the second most violent precinct in the city. My first year, we took 242 guns off the street. But every time we have a controversial shooting, just like in Louisiana, we talk about the Sterling shooting. We got one cop with 3 years, one with 4 years. The one with 3 years, this is his second shooting. Most cops go 20 years without firing their weapon. Here you got this 3-year cowboy, he's on his second shooting, and I would love to see what else he has.
How do you see us moving forward? How do you see the communities moving to a place where the police are no longer seen as a separate entity, where they actually are protecting and serving?
Well, let's just be clear that 90% of police officers, 95 are good cops. They're good cops. You know, it's just this 5 or 10% that we have to really deal with. Most cops just come to work and they do their job. And if all the other black officers out there, the ones that's looking at the show, if you take a stand instead of trying to fit in with Joey, trust me, your career goes just as smooth as mine. Take a stand for something or die for nothing.